Good morning, my friends. Welcome back. We are up to episode 2 of the new Dial It Up Challenge series. So, series 1, which is birds. If you caught last week, we are doing birds, and it's a set of 6 cards that we're doing. So, 1 card in the bird series for 6 weeks, and then we'll pull a fresh prompt for that. So, this is the card I made last week, and last week the alternate make was an altered paperclip, which I didn't do, sadly, but there we go. It is what it is. So I have pre-backed my cards for the series of 6. So these ones I've yet to cut out. I'll do that later. And this one I have prepared ahead of time. So if you want to go ahead and, and back your cards for the series of 6, just saves a bit of time when you come to make it, particularly for me on camera. Okay, let's pull some prompts, shall we? So first off, the prompts for the bird card. If you're new to this challenge, if it's your first time coming along, welcome. I hope you enjoy. I hope you're inspired to jump in. Now, we're doing a series of 6, but you don't have to make all 6 if you don't want to. If you just want to make 1 here and there, make 5, make 2, it's up to you. If you want to skip that altogether and do the alternate make, absolutely perfectly fine. And if you are posting them on social media, if you could use the hashtag #DealItUpChallenge. So all run together, #DealItUpChallenge is the hashtag, so I can find what and see what you made. Okay, let's do a blind pull here. I didn't close my eyes before I'd finished shuffling, so I'm kind of just doing a reshuffle. Just because there's 2 different sets of cards, so I don't bias, which one I'm going to pull. Sheet music. Yay, I do love a bit of sheet music. Okay, next one. I'll also do this as a blind pull because we've got the 2 different card backs. And for the series, this is the card back that I'm actually using to make my cards with, my set of 6, my first set of 6. I'll probably use a different set for maybe for the next series, maybe for the series after. I don't know. No plans really. I'm just dealing with the first 6. Okay, let's go there. Grungy. Ooh, okay. Grungy birds. Okay, so your alternate make, let's pull that card. These are my new set of alternate makes. Few new surprises in there, a few of the old favourites, and some that aren't in here at all from the last set that we were using. Just adds a bit of freshness, doesn't it? I'm not shuffling these at all well. This is just really quite pathetic as a shuffle, but never mind, won't matter. I'm going in the middle of the pack, it seems, today. So the alternate make today is a business form, another new one for this new year. Okay, and this last style prompt is specific to this make. If it works, you can include it in this one as well, but some of them aren't going to work the same. So it's up to you whether you include it in your bird card or just in the business form. Treat it as like an optional extra, I guess, for your bird card. Right. Middle of the pack, why not? It's been working for us so far today. So, not the alternate, something cuddly. Now that could work if you chose a bird image that was like a bird soft toy or something. You could work that in that way. Yeah, I'm not sure whether I'll include it today or not. Last week this prompt was night, and so I managed to weave that in here with choosing a night bird and adding the liquid pearls as like stars. That's how I included night, very loosely, just a little nod towards the prompt. So you could do the same with this if your brain goes that way. I will do the business form today, so if you're not sure, like, business form, what do you mean business form? We'll talk about that a bit more when I get to that. Okay, so I'm going to grab my card out. We are going to first off cover it. Now, sheet music. I do have sheet music to hand, but do I want to put just sheet music on? I think I want some colour in there. Grungy. We need something grungy. And I have something in mind. I'll just grab the full folder. Hopefully this isn't too glary for you. Maybe this bit. This is my handprint in paint. So I was thinking this bit because it's like a bit more grungy, isn't it? You're not going to get the whole handprint. But maybe we want a section like that. I'm just going to tear off a bit here, so I'm getting more towards the grungy bit. Right, so let's glue that on, and I think I'll layer the sheet music over top. So 2-glue method for me is what I prefer. A nice good adherence of glue stick in the middle. It's going to keep it nice and smooth, and then the tacky glue around the edge is going to give a nice seal around the edge that's not going to lift up, part company. It's going to be a nice strong sealed edge as long as I get close enough to the edge. And then a squizzle, whatever a squizzle is your new term for the day, a squizzle around the edge. Right, just make sure I'm in the right kind of corner. It's more sort of up this way. I made this paper here in 2022 as part of the 100-day challenge. I was doing collage fodder, so I think it's about time I use some of it, don't you think? I think so. I've been holding on to many of the papers that I made because they were just like, they're just so cool and fun, and I wasn't quite ready to use them, but I think about time that I used them. I'm contemplating the 100-day project again this year. I didn't do it last year. Is anyone going to do it this year? If you know what it is, it's a challenge that runs for 100 days, and you pick anything you want. It can be anything. It doesn't even need to be creative. It could be like read a book every day for 100 days, or you know, whatever. I didn't complete, by the way, the first time I did it back 2 years ago, I did not complete the whole 100 days, but what I did complete, I am so glad I did give it a go, because I wouldn't have had, could go in the middle. Now if I want to grungy this, I think I need to grungy this up a bit. So let's just give it a straight edge. I'm gonna, do I want it, decisions, do I want to just, I think I want it slightly thinner. I think that's the problem. So let's cut it height-wise first, so I'm not making that smaller when I don't need to. Okay, now let's tear this down a bit. This is fun sheet music because it's in a foreign language. Someone sent this to me. I do not remember who. So we could go that one, or do we want the thinner one? I think I want the thinner one. Okay. So let's grungy it up a bit. Grab out my vintage photo. Actually, do I want to use ground espresso for an extra grunge look? I think so. I'm going to finish this off first. Put my papers aside. So I want to get this kind of a bit more distressed, a bit more grungy. So just creating some creases for the ink to hang up on. Okay, so that's Vintage Photo. Now let's grab our ground espresso. There it is. Can't find the ground espresso pad, so I'm just going to use this one upside down. That's for my aged photo, I think. No, aged paper. Sorry, get the right name. Aged paper distress ink. To save me hunting through my drawer, let's just turn the pad upside down. So I don't want to like hit all of it with the ground espresso. I just want to kind of like dirty up parts of it just to get some interest going on, some more interest I should say. Here we go. I think that's looking pretty grungy. Oh yes, I like that. Right, glue it on. Got to choose out a bird. Not sure what bird we're going to use today, but we'll find out. I just want to take a moment once I've got this on to see whether I want to add any other grungy kind of elements. I don't want to flatten this out completely, so I'm not scraping it with my card like I normally would. Still want to make sure it's stuck well, but I don't want to like flatten out all of the interesting bits. Okay, that's looking suitably grungy. I think I also am going to just ink around with the ground espresso. So I'm hopeful that I'll be back to normal this week in terms of my videos, but we shall see. I have to say, I'm just going to do the back with Vintage Photo while I'm here. I have to say I didn't sleep very well last night. It took me a long time to go to sleep. So I was lying awake for a couple of hours. And my eyes are a bit blurry this morning. I probably need to go put some eye drops in, but I didn't want to do it before recording the video because once you put the eye drops in, you need to wait for several minutes for your eyes to because it makes them a little bit blurry. Like I know they're blurry at the moment, my eyes, just naturally, part of the Sjogren's, but yeah, I didn't want to wait till the eye drops to kind of clear to come right again. So I thought, no, we'll just do the video, then I will deal with my eyes. And they're worse today because of the lack of sleep. Right, I think I need to choose out a bird and then see whether I want any additional kind of treatment. Or you would be beautiful, but you are too big. Here's a kakapo, New Zealand native bird, but it doesn't stand out for me. This bird, I have no idea what it is. You're not too bad. This is the trouble. I put owl on this card, but a lot of these birds are from either a South African or an Australian book. And I think there might be some from England as well. And it's like, I don't know what bird, I have no idea what kind of bird. So to name it, it's going to be a bit tricky because I have no idea. Like this weird bird. He's very weird. I'm kind of looking at the grungy turn. It's like, do I want a grungy bird? They blend in. Oh, you've got a beautiful, but you're too big. These are all cut out of books. There's the odd one out of a magazine, but too big. Most of them are out of like field guides, bird field guides. No, too big. You're all too big, my birdies. You're even too big. Your beak sticks out. Your tail sticks out. Could trim your tail, but I'm finding they're blending in too much. I almost need like a white pale bird. I mean, this one, it blends in still. It's like, doesn't really pop. As we go through 30,000 bird images looking for the right one, and probably in shadow there, I'm sorry. I was so busy concentrating on this, I didn't think about the shadow. It blends in. That one's actually in water, except there's no water under it. Oh, now I'm throwing birds on the floor. I think that seems to be the one. Okay, I do feel like it needs a little lift off. Use a bit of brown paper. Let's try it. Give it some torn edges, because we're doing grungy, remember? Doing grungy. It's got to be nice and grungy. So how was your weekend, my friends? Did you have a good weekend? We had a very quiet weekend because we were both feeling a bit like we were coming down with a cold. I've still got a little bit of a sore throat, but nothing really has materialized above that. Hubby was a bit sneezy and all that sort of, I think he had a slightly more severe symptoms, I would say, but not severe at all. Like for either of us, we were just a bit tired. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Let's grab back the ground espresso. Sorry, losing track of what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm fine. I'm just lack of sleep, still that little niggly sore throat, probably get worse with talking on camera, but that's okay. It's really not bad at all. It's just like there. Come on, get some ink on there. That's better. It was a bit futile what I was trying to do. Right, just letting the paper fold over my fingernail to get some hard lines in there. I don't know whether they'll show or not, but once they're covered with the bird, it's just adding some texture and interest and grunge. Yeah, that's really cool. May not show at all, might be completely covered, and that's okay. Yeah, so it was a very quiet weekend, which is fine. I'm feeling pretty good now in terms of recovery from surgery. I've passed that zone where having my leg down creates extra pressure and pain. As far as I'm aware, I have not, over the weekend, I just spent the entire weekend on the couch. So I can't guarantee that I won't feel a bit of pressure and pain with having my leg down. But I think pretty much we're past that. I still need to keep my foot up as much as possible, or my legs rather, because of the other conditions, not surgery related. And I've been really bad at it last year. I didn't use the couch at all. I was just like, from the moment I got up till the moment I went to bed, sitting at my desk. Not great when I'm prone to swelling. Okay, just thinking also about where I'm going to put my word, because we're doing a series. So my things that are tying the series in for me, my choices, are the word and the gold border. So I'm thinking about where I might want my word. I'm thinking maybe down here. So I'm going to use tacky glue for this because of all the fine details on the feet. So I'm hoping that that means I can spend more time now creating at my desk, getting stuff done, because I've felt really hampered. Haven't been able to work as normal, but still make myself go to the couch and put my legs up, or the bed, wherever, and have stuff to do that I can get done in those places. Whoops, I wanted it higher. Let's just wipe off that glue. Wanted it up here. Not sure I got it in the right place, but it's there now to stay. Okay, that's looking cool. Now the only problem I have, this is the same paper that I'm using for my title, for my word. I don't think it'll matter. We'll ink around it. Right, I have no idea. That kind of looks like it might be a thrush. That's what it reminds me of. It's probably not. Could be any sort of bird, but it reminds me of a thrush. So do we want to put thrush, or do we want to use a descriptive term? Speckled, I think, would be too long. I like the idea of speckled, but with my stamps that I'm using, it wouldn't fit. So it's got to be a short word for my cards. Inspiration. Shout some words out. What can I do? Thrush would probably actually come over the bird as well. How about sing? Let's put sing, because birds sing, and we've got a plum tree just outside the window behind me, actually. Well, across the driveway. It's not very far. It's like maybe a couple of meters away. It's full of plums, yellow plums, and every morning we just get such a bird chorus from that plum tree with all the birds. No, we're not doing spring, we're doing sing. Gosh, get your brain working, girl. Such a chorus of the bird song, all eating the plums, and it's lovely. And during the day I'll go out and I'll grab a few plums. I've now got to be careful though that I grab ones that haven't got bird poo on them, you know, because I'm reaching the lower ones and the birds are getting the higher ones, and of course the ones underneath them, the ones I'm grabbing, are in firing line from the bird butt. Oh my gosh, the things I talk about on camera. Hopefully give you a laugh at least. So yes, they're very ripe, and I can hear the birds right now actually. They had gone quiet for a bit, but no, still out there having a feast of plums. The tree actually is on our neighbour's property, and it hangs over our fence, and it is literally dripping with plums. There's so many on it this year. Absolutely full, covered, so heavy with plums that the branches are hanging down over our fence and actually sitting on top of the fence because they're so heavy. Oops. Oh well, they'll do. It's visible, that's the main thing. Didn't stamp it very well. I wasn't concentrating. I was too busy talking. Right, I'll clean those off later properly. Oh, my nose is wanting to drip. Just a moment, please. Right, so I haven't done something cuddly on this, so that's okay. I think I'm just going to keep this pretty much to around the word. Last week I gave it a little bit extra space at the end. Just want to tidy up those edges. Just being quite persnickety right now. Oops, lost my little bit that I cut off, and I just want to trim that down a little bit more. Okay, do I want to ink around it? So we are going to, I could actually cut it down a little bit more, right down to the letters. Just trying to cover as little of the bird as possible. Oh, come on, come on. got to get to the next thing. Right. Do I want to... So we'll just go a little bit over the bird. That's okay. We can live with that. I am going to ink around it with Vintage Photo just to make it stand out, hopefully a little bit. It may not, it may blend even more, who knows. Right, glue it on, and then we need to do the gold border, and then it's on to the business form. Sing, sing little birdie, sing. So I'm using this Liquitex ink for my gold border. So whatever you choose to connect your series of 6, I recommend having at least one design feature of your choosing to make them all part of a series. I mean, it's up to you. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I do recommend it to make them more of a series, more obviously part of a series. So when I do my next set of 6, whatever the subject is, I'll probably choose a different style to connect them, or not. Maybe I'll use the same, make them all look part of a larger series with individual parts. Don't know. There we go. I just love the gold. I think it just really finishes it off for me. Okay, now I've got to move it because it's wet. So that's the bird card for this week. Okay, so we've got grungy, we've got sheet music, and we've got our bird. Right, I'll just pop it. Where am I going to pop it? Just behind me, I think. Right, have a wee sip of my coffee. And let's look at this one. Now, I don't actually have any magazines to hand. I had them all over at the couch yesterday, and they haven't come back to my desk. Right, so business form. Any business form. You could go receipt, you could go guest check, any type of business form. It could be an old one, it could be a new one, it could be a digital printable. Whatever you choose, whatever you've got, use. So now I've just got to find one myself. Right, let's look at this. So I picked this up at a second-hand shop for $1. Had never been used. I have since used several pages. Let's go. Obviously I've used white ones. Is the yellow one perforated? No, it's not. So the yellow one's not perforated. I don't, where is it? No, it's not. It's just the markings of the perforation, but not actually perforated. So let's tear it out. So this is what I'm using just because it's the first thing I found to hand. Now, how you use the business form, well, that's entirely up to you. Whether you want to turn it into a folding piece of ephemera, depending on the size of it, whether you turn it into a tag or a journal card. Yeah, whatever you like. Now I'm going to put the bird card aside because we've done that. So we've left with these prompts, and I'll switch that because these are the creative prompts. This is the what, the alternate make. So first off, I need to decide what I want to do with this. I'm not going to use it like in its current size because like it's too big to put in a journal, I think. So do I want to turn it into like a floating pocket? How wide is that? Let's have a look on. So this is my typical journal page size, which is A4 folded in half. Yeah, so it's too big to put in a journal as is. We could do it either as a floating pocket or a floating pocket. Let's just run with that. Actually, I want to take it up a bit more because I want to reinforce the leading. So rather than tuck it under, normally I'd tuck it under to create that reinforced edge. I'm going to fold it out so we get this fun detail from the form itself. Right, put that aside. Special instructions it says on there. Okay, so glue that down first. This glue stick's getting very close to being finished. Now I think last year Gail Augustinelli was keeping track of how many glue sticks that she went through in the year. I know I do not go through as many as she does, but I'm kind of like, shall I keep a track of my glue sticks this year, just for curiosity's sake? And because the lovely Laurel gave me a full box, which I believe is 12 glue sticks as part of my Christmas present. So it's like, might be interesting, might be fun, just to see how many I go through in a year. Okay, so that's the top of our pocket. I feel like I want to give some sort of shaping up here. Do I want to? What I'm not loving is this edge. It's just a bit raggedy where I tore it with the ruler. And raggedy normally is fine. I'm just not liking it on this. It's just feeling messy, although grungy is one of the prompts. Yes, grungy is one of the prompts. Why am I going to neaten it up when we need a bit of grunge in there? So I think what I want to do is like enhance it, enhance the grunge factor, like make some tears in it. It's quite funny, Gail was doing some grungy project last week as I was watching, whoops, and my comment to her was that I find grungy really quite difficult. I don't do it a lot because I wanted to neaten up this edge because I go for the clean look typically. Now, I have done grungy. Those of you who are, been with me on my channel for a while know I have done grungy. But I don't do it a lot because I do find it difficult. But I still love doing it every now and then because it's, it stretches, it's creative, it's every now and then you're just like, yeah, I want to do a bit of grunge. But I've never done a grungy journal. Never. Do you think I should aim to do one this year? Just put it to the side there to kind of ink that little folded over corner that I have going on. Yeah, do you think I should challenge myself? Do you want to see me do grungy? Like a full-on grungy journal? I don't know, it'd be a real big challenge. It would be a big challenge. Who else is into grunge? Like, are you a fan of grunge? Are you not a fan of grunge? Right, I want something here. Maybe that's a good place for sheet music. Do I have a big enough piece? Oh, there's not a lot of detail on this bit, but it does actually fit. So let's go with it. We'll grunge it up a bit. Do I want to close my pocket yet? I'm thinking grungy sheet music, something cuddly. Okay, I don't think I want to close the pocket just yet. And do I want this to go not quite all the way across? Maybe I should have made it go all the way across. Never mind. We'll just plow on. Maybe we want it like just give it a bit of grunge as well at the bottom there. So switching backwards and forwards between the vintage photo and the ground espresso, just because I can. It's a really easy way to inject a bit of grunge is with your inks. And they don't even have to be distress inks. It could be whatever ink you've got in a dark, particularly brown, I think, or even black. You could use black. Right, I want to get some creases happening there. Ink those up. I feel like I've been recording for ages, so I hope I'm not going over time. I should do a check. Right. Yes, I'll use glue stick. I was like, do I use glue stick? Yes, I will. And I just glued the back of my little bit that I want to fold up, which wasn't particularly useful. Fold it back up that way. Maybe put a little bit of ink. Just, I'm off camera, sorry. Just want to glue that down there. Oops. Right, just gonna press it down. I could scrape it because I'm not really getting much texture there, but anyway. Right, I forgot to ink along the bottom, so let's right. Now the bird is a separate prompt, that's for the bird card, but if you wanted to put a bird on this as well, you certainly can. There's no rules against it, but it's not designed, that prompt is not designed to go on your alternate make. But if you're not doing the series, like we're currently doing birds, then by all means, you know, you might want to put a bird on as your something cuddly. That would be perfectly acceptable. Not that there's any rules. Right, just want to see how we're shaping up. And we're okay on time, so that's good. So turn that into a pocket. I think I want something cuddly up here. Do I want to layer anything under it? I guess I need to know what I'm going to put there first. This might. I love this book, but it's cutesy. It does not read grungy at all. So that's an interesting, isn't it? Something cuddly and grungy, kind of like, how do they work together? What else have I got? This again is a children's book and on the cutesy side, but there's like some more monstery type things. Just a quick wee flick through, if anything, like he's way too big. There's a fox over here. He doesn't look cuddly though, does he? Like the Gruffalo looks cuddly. What about this? Would this fit? I even like that it's got the word on it, what he is. I don't know what sort of journal this would go in, apart from a grungy theme journal. But hey, it's just about having fun. Oops, my book won't go back where it's supposed to. I like these leaves as well, but I'm not going to leave them on. And this circle is actually a distressed kind of circle as well, which is fun. It's a very uneven, winky wonky kind of circle, which is fun. So I'm trying to preserve that organic feel to it, because I think that really works with the grungy aesthetic we've got going on. So I'm not trying to cut a perfect circle. I'm not even going to save those leaves because it's a bit small. So I'm thinking I'm going to take a few little chunks out of it. Grungy it up, and I need to take off this white because I don't want the white, you know, so much white. Getting hard to tear off my pages. I need to take care of that. Right, so let's give it a brush with the vintage photo first up. Take off that white because we're doing grungy, remember, we need to go grunge. Right, let's add some spots of the ground espresso. Particularly on these torn bits. Right, and let's ink up some creases as well. Right. It's going to cover part of our tear up there, but I think that's fine. We still get that there's a chink out of the top. Now, do I want anything under that? I'm going to go back to my collage fodder. And like, that's pretty grungy. Or that. How about that one? I think that one's talking to me. Because it's got some fun colour as well as the kind of brown, and it's just a clean off, this one. Let's just take a bit. Actually thinking this little corner here might Now, do I like that blue poking out more? I kind of want to keep the number. Or do I want this patchy? I think I need to tear it down a bit. I'm in a rush now. I'm like, yeah, we're doing okay on time, but I know that the last several minutes seem to go way too quick. Now, this book page here is very, very rough, and it tends to absorb the glue stick and lift. It doesn't stay very well stuck with the glue stick. So I'm just going to bypass that issue and go to the tacky glue. Right, do I want glue stick this? I think so. So children's activity books, those types of ones are really good for lots of different types of images. Most of them will be on the cutesy side, but not always. And sometimes, even though it's cutesy, like I would call this cutesy, it does lend itself to grungy quite nicely. And I put glue at the top there where we've got nothing behind it, but it will dry, so you won't worry about that. Okay, do we want to pop this? Yeah, let's pop that down there. It brings a bit of that paper down into the bottom and takes care of a scrap. So it's one less scrap to go into my bin. because we're just going to use it. So make anything you like with your business form, whether it's, you know, a journal card, it could be a pocket, it could be a folding piece that tucks into a pocket, a tag. Guest checks make really good tags if you've got guest checks available. So your choice of what you make with your business form, just make it grungy, add something cuddly, and pop a bit of sheet music on it, and then you're good to go. Right, so I need to glue my pocket. Do I want a thumb notch? No, I don't, but before I glue it, I actually want to do some stamping. So let's add some splotches. Now I think I might use Ganesh, Stays On Ganesh. Why? Just because as I went to get my acrylic block, it was sitting right on top, and I was like, oh, let's use that. Because why not? Because it's a very blacky brown. One that goes over the top of the pocket. It's kind of fun, isn't it? Okay, that's enough of that one. And it's got these like scratch ones here, same set. I need to clean my stamps off since I need to grab out a new wet wipe because I haven't got one at the moment. Let's kind of stamp off a little bit. Yep, I don't want to overdo it. Very tempting to overdo it, but I'm going to resist. Right, my nose just needs a little blow, excuse me. I seem to have to blow it a little bit more than normal today, and that might just be the little bit of, perhaps a bit of a head cold or something. Certainly the sore throat is making itself a bit more known than it was before I started the video. So I think I'm going to call that good, apart from gluing the pocket up. Let's go ahead and do that. So we've got a nice pocket there that we can put something into. And then because it's only thin business form, I would glue that whole thing down, or it could be a floating pocket. You could paper clip it in, or put it in a bigger pocket or a belly band or something, but I would probably just glue the whole thing down and have that nice big pocket there. Okay, so that's our makes for today. So let's review. So put the prompts back in the right order. So for your bird series card, if you're making along with the series, so a bird image of some description, you could get it from a children's book, from a field guide, from an encyclopedia. You could print one off if you've got a Fussy Cut digital. It could be a sticker, whatever you like, anywhere that you find a bird. Include some sheet music and make it grungy. And then my style elements, I think that gold's dry, hopefully, because I've been putting my fingers in it. Whatever style elements to connect your series. So can you see that they're starting to form a series? Different colours, different arrangements, compositions, but the brown paper with the title and the bird, of course, and then the gold edge are what I'm using. So the brown paper and the gold edge, what I'm using to combine them into a series. You can use them as journal cards. I need to ink around this, my first one actually. You can use them as ATCs or as journal cards, or just a fun series of art to keep. Okay, so that was our bird card. And then for our business form, so business form base, whatever you want to choose to use, I've made a pocket. We've got something cuddly, which is the specific prompt for this make. And then we've got grungy and sheet music. Okay, there we go, my friends. We've done both projects today. Have a go. If you've never given it a go, give it a go and let me know how you get on. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.